Good evening, good evening, and welcome everyone. Welcome to episode 48 of the Lott Carey Wise Digital Couch. My name is Doriel Inez Larrier, and I am the host of the Lott Carey Wise Digital Couch. And I am so thankful and honored to be here with you this evening. This is our episode 48. We've actually finished 4 entire years of this show that is supporting and lifting up and having conversations with many members of our global Baptist Foreign Mission Convention. And here's yet another one. So, on behalf of our Executive Secretary Treasurer, which is Reverend Emmett L. Dunn, our President, Dr. Jesse Williams, our first Vice President, Dr. James Victor, our second Vice President, Dr. Robert Scott, and of the Lott Carey Women in Service Everywhere, Reverend Dr. Brenda McBurrow, our President, Sister Lynette Richardson, our first Vice President, Minister Brenda Troy, our second Vice President, our Youth Department Leader, Reverend Brittany D. Mingo, and our Men on Missions team leader, Deacon Charles Monterio. We welcome you. Before we get going on this evening, there are some announcements. You know that during our month, we have a lot going on here at Lott Carey, and this month is like none other. First of all, it is African Heritage Month, and so happy African Heritage Month, happy Black History Month to you all. The first of the month, every first day of every month, we have our prayer call. And so we had a wonderful prayer call with Reverend Ross, T. Ross. And so we are thankful for that ministry. And if you want to join us, again, please make sure you check in with us on the first day of every month. Please stay connected with our Lott Carey TV YouTube channel, as well as our Lott Carey Wise Salt on Facebook. Today, of course, is the digital couch, where it's also Thursdays in Blacks. We have a lot going on. And in the Lott Carey proper, the registration is open for people to sign up and to register and to get your hotels ready for the spring session, which is coming up in a few weeks. And because it's February, you know what next month is. It is a big, big month in Lott Carey Women in Service Everywhere. It is our 31 days of prayer, our 31 days of prayer. So please stay tuned again in all of our social media platforms so that you can get the information. We will be having the 31 days of prayer service in about a week or so. And so please stay tuned for that as well. Reach out and we'll let you know where it is if you do not already know. And of course, every single day during the month of March, we will have our prayer call. We'll be focusing on a different country each day, early in the morning, 6:30 a.m. So please get up. It is on free conference call, and you can join in, listen, hear the specific message of each country that we do serve in, and hear the needs of that country that we will make a prayer for. Let us get into the business of this evening. This evening, we are talking to one of the many partners, one of the many servants in Lott Carey, particularly in Women in Service. We have a number of layers in the Lott Carey Baptist Foreign Mission Convention, and sometimes you see people walking along through the roads or walking through the convention, and you might know them, you might not know them. This person, I know that you know. And so as we celebrate 125 years of women in service for Lott Carey, please join me in welcoming Lady Van. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, Lady Van. Now, this might be considered like a pre-recorded. So if people do actually see this, when you do see it, please, I still want you to, let's follow protocol. I want you to drop into the chat represent your church, represent your pastor, your hometown, and let us know where you will be watching from. So welcome we have some people already. Excellent. So Lady Van, please let us know, of course, your full name, which most people do know, and shout out your hometown and where you pray at, and we'll get going into our conversation.
Okay. My full name is Vanessa DJ Hilliard. I reside in Upper Marlboro, Maryland, but I was born, bred Washingtonian from DC. Yes. I attend New Abundant Life Missionary Baptist Church. My pastor is Pastor M.K. Holt, and the church is located in Fairmont Heights, Maryland.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. So I wanted to make an intentional ask during this month, because during this 125 years of women serving within the convention and celebration to our year, we wanted to take a look at a number of different partners or people who serve within the organization. And I cannot think of a more integral person, as most of you know, as Lady Van. You know, some people may say, well, she's behind the scenes, but you know, people who work behind the scenes are really making the machine work well. And so I wanted to have an opportunity to sit and chat with you. So you can actually start by telling us, talking about your journey through Lott Carey, like what got you started, how did you first get involved, and you wear two very beautiful hats at this part of the journey, and so we're going to talk about that. So first, let's talk about like how did you even get started? What was your initial participation with the organization?
I was introduced to Lott Carey by Maddie Stroman from Liberty Baptist Church. She was real heavy into bringing in women into the women's part of Lott Carey, and she introduced me to it. And so I started attending the conventions, and I was sitting in uh, uh, a class, and Minnie Washington, Dr. Minnie Washington's class. I had taken her class, and she looked at me and she said, I need you to be the secretary of my class. And I said, okay. And so I came back the next year and she said, I need you to be secretary of my class. And I said, okay. So then she introduced me to Lucille Ely, who was in charge of classroom managers. And she said, I know I'm a loser, but she's a good worker. And so that's how I got involved into being a classroom manager. Under Reverend Best, there was a lot of things that was going on, and we were expanding and developing, and they needed somebody that was close to headquarters. So since I lived close to headquarters, I was the key person and the runner for Sister Ely and Reverend Best in gathering and getting the classroom managers. So that was my job, to get the classroom managers. Back in the day, I would say that the mission studies class had over 20 classes. So we needed over 20 classroom managers, and we had over 1,000 students in class for several years. We had over 1,000. It wasn't until COVID that we dropped down in the numbers, but we had over 1,000 students in that class, Tuesday through, and it was Tuesday through Friday. Now it's Tuesday through Thursday. So that's how I got involved in that. And then Dr. Goatley had asked me if I could oversee the bookstore, because whatever city we went in, we always found a Black bookstore that would order our mission study books, and they would come in and sell the books. And Dr. Gully said, we could do something better. We can do something different. So he asked if, so then that's how I got into the bookstore. But under Pastor Murray, when he was president, he wanted to do an international market of selling clothes of the partners. And since I was a buyer and a manager of a boutique in our local DMV area, Dr. Goatley found out I did that. So he asked me if I could manage that. So I ended up being with the classroom manager, still with the bookstore / international market.
Okay, so I've been taking notes. I've been taking notes. Wait a minute. So I put up that Sister Minnie Washington, who was a former class instructor, so she was right.
Yes.
And then she asked you, "Isn't it amazing how we just get voluntold?"
Yeah. You
Just get voluntold.
just pull you out. Just pull you out. And just
It's
tell
the
you you're
spirit
going to
that
do
they
this.
sent. It's the spirit. They're like, I know you can do something. Come on over here. That's exactly how it happens. We love it. We love it. We love it. And then you said, so I didn't know that mission studies class had over 20 classes with more than 1,000 students. That's
Yes.
incredible. That is incredible. So, I mean, my history of being in a mission studies class, and literally we're talking more than 30, I want to say 30, I don't mind, like 35, almost 40 years. Yeah, it's been that long. I do remember a huge, huge conglomerate of people just like moving towards these rooms and then siphoning, into these rooms and then seeing people at the, and I was like, wow, where are they going? I just knew the place that I was supposed to go, which at the time was with the youth. And then I saw all these big people. So that's beautiful to know that that our mission studies class has anchored people in such a way that people want to learn, they want to focus, they want to have that attention on like a focused theme to do
You
this
know,
study.
to be a part of the mission studies class, those who participate, I have to really say they have a heart for missions. They have a heart to learn, and they are intentional. And I say that because you got to be in class around 7:15, 7:30. That is a sacrifice. The teachers got to be there around 6:30, 6:45, and the students are coming in there dragging. And a lot of times, the funny thing about it is some of them don't realize that they have signed up for this class because a pastor have sent them, the church has sent them. And they'd
And then
be like,
drag
class,
you
7 o'clock in the morning, and everything was, it was like, I have to take it because I got to go back and do their delegate. So they
That's right.
have to go back and take a report
They
and
have to
everything.
turnkey. Yes, they
And they
do.
be struggling. It is just too funny how it is. But yes, you have to be intentional. You got to want to learn. The classes are very interactive. They bring out a wealth of knowledge about missions
Mhm.
and everything. And it also during those times give us a one-on-one interaction with our mission partners that come to the
Yes,
convention,
yes, yes,
doing that session and everything. So they get to see the mission partners, and they get to find out their needs. That's one thing that they used to do. They used to find out the needs, and the students would take it back to their church,
yes, they do. Yes, we do. Yes,
and
we
then
do.
that would be their initiative and assignment to that partner to get. And it, to us it seems like it was wild and crazy, but they were serious when they would ask for money for a cow. They would ask for a motorcycle for the
Hmm.
pastor to get around.
Yeah.
They would ask for old Sunday school books and everything.
Yes.
And we take
Still.
advantage of that because we get it so freely. But
Right.
that was a great need for them. That was
Right.
and they were able to come in class and share their heart, share their needs that touched the students, and the students would then take it back and say, this is what we're going to do for South Africa. This is what we're going to do
Yes.
for Ghana. And so it was really twofold. It was getting a wealth of knowledge, but it's also about sharing and being a blessing to the mission partners.
You're absolutely right. I actually remember, and these partnerships are not um, fly by night. No pun
No,
intended. They
no,
are long standing relationships. Long standing relationships. I remember as a youngster hearing the name uh, Mr. Roy, right,
right.
from
India,
India. From India.
India.
I remember hearing his name as a youngster. So we're talking more than 20 years ago, hearing
Or
this name.
Sister Irene from India. Remember
Yeah,
Irene from, yeah,
yes. And hearing these names, and now that I'm, older and I've brought, now that my children are a little older, I've brought them and still hearing this name, I'm thinking, so is there only one, like mission in India? And I guess we keep feeding it, right? We keep serving it. We keep supporting it. And that's a great thing. And so it's beautiful to and I often refer to this story of growing up and before I went on my first missions trip and only having the experience of seeing people of different groups, different backgrounds going into countries of our ancestors and our families and serving them and not really knowing, can I, as a person whose family I believe is from there, can I go? But I've only seen people who don't look like me. do that. And so then when I went on my first mission trip, and I actually had the opportunity to not only witness but participate in that service, it literally and figuratively changed my mind about
Right.
what mission work is. And so, but prior to my going on my first trip, having this one person or the two people come from these different countries to speak about the need, to speak about only what I see on television, it was still a learning gap. It was still like, okay, I know you're from there, but then going to see them on their own, on their own land, it is literally game changing. It's game changing. So having them then walk into the mission education class, and even though they've repeated that story, maybe every other year, because we see them every other year, but getting them up close and being able to interact, and then you're hearing, so we need, like, let's say $500 for, or US, 500 US, and that'll buy us like 3 cows. And we're thinking, you need a cow?
Right. Right.
You're not asking for a car, you're asking for a cow?
Asking for a cow.
And right. So then we think, wow, we never go home leaving the convention feeling like I have to get this, and this. It's usually like we walk back. I know I walk back and I look at my refrigerator and I say, you know what? I don't need half the stuff in here. I look at the closet, a third of that can go to someone else, and I'll still have more than enough to wear for a year without
Right.
many repeats, right? And so there's an opportunity for just being very, very grateful, very grateful. So mission education, yes, 7 o'clock in the morning. So for those of you who don't know, I play the role when I go to convention as a
Yes.
class manager, and I have for many a year, and I'm very
Many
thankful
a
for that.
year.
And somebody literally pulled me out and said, you, right there, come and do the worship for tomorrow morning. Excuse me, that means I need to get here at 6:45. Wait, what? And here I am. Here I am. So it's a beautiful, beautiful experience to be a part of, and to have that spirit within you that shines. And then somebody like you will come and say, come on over here. Come and help out.
When I first started attending mission classes, Pastor Keith Troy was a teacher. And
Shout
he
out
ended
to
up being one
Brother.
of the past presidents of Lott Carey. Yeah.
I love that story. Okay, so
Yes.
Pastor Keith Troy, this is for you. We're giving you a shout out. We're giving you
Yeah.
your official shout out.
Yeah.
Lady Van has just called you out and has called out your journey, sir. Love it. Now,
Yes, he was a dutiful, faithful, very powerful teacher. That's the thing about it. When the students would get a favorite teacher, it was hard to drag them out the class and everything. And so Pastor Troy had other sights in mind, so he withdrew as a teacher, but he served as a teacher for many years and everything. So you see how it has evolved. And just like Dr. Evan Spagner, he
yes,
was a teacher. He started out teaching, and now he's over the teachers and selecting the books and doing all that. So LottCarey is a place where you can evolve. It's
that it
it's
is.
always a growth place to go. And so to talk about the international market,
Yeah.
I do want to say that Dr. Mary wanted to do a little bit more for the partners, and I want to say, to show their arts and crafts. And so under his administration and with approval from Dr. Goldley, it was set to get them to send us their merchandise, and we would sell it for a profit and send their profit back to them. Little do people know that a lot of times what we sell and the profit they get keeps somebody not only from being hungry, but keep a roof over their head. But we even sold pocketbooks from women that made the purses to keep them out of prostitution.
Yes. That is the story that I wanted to hear. These are the stories that I wanted to hear.
Yes,
These are the things that people need to know. So wait, just before you say another word, 1 second. So to all those people who do attend convention, or if you know someone back at home and you keep talking about it, but they're not necessarily ready to get on the plane and go, letting them know this is a way that we're cutting out middle people,
yes,
and it's entrepreneur to the shop to the person, to the consumer, right? And that's so powerful to hear these stories of, yes, some of the people who are making the beautiful dresses. That, sure, I'm in New York, so I could old fashioned get it from 125th Street or on the Avenue, or people who in other places can get it from a third or fourth party. But these people, our family across the water, they're making it so that they can sustain themselves.
Yes.
And 100% is going back to them.
Yes.
That is incredible.
The other thing that is incredible, and what's good about it, is the mere fact that it's really authentic material. You can go to these little pop-up shops and they have the look, but it is so paper thin.
Correct.
And so our partners, we get materials and clothing, and we have sold dishes and fans and shoes and purses, jewelry and hats and mud cloths. And we sold them from Liberia, Kenya, Nigeria, South Africa, Ghana, Haiti, India, Zimbabwe, Sierra Leone, and even you have blessed the market one year when you were overseas and you were texting me, and I said, get me some material because I want to sell it in the market. And I Zelled you, cash apped you the money. You brought the material back and we sold it. And the profits went to Lott Carey. Right. That went to Lott Carey. But the majority, 95% of what we sell are from the partners.
Right.
And they benefit. And it helps them in so many ways. So the vision of Dr. Mary, the past president, was one that just blew Lott Carey up in the sense where the people stopped going to the malls.
Right.
They are so eager for us to open that we don't even get a chance to get everything settled.
That's right.
To knock down the door to get in there.
That's right.
And it's a lot that goes on, like you said earlier, behind the scenes that we have to do to get ready to sell the merchandise, price it, let you know what country it came from, the markup on it, set it up so it looked pretty, that you want to buy it and everything. And these women, and I have to say they're women that make everything roll many, many times. We used to stay up. I stopped doing it. We used to stay up till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning to get it done. Right. So that, and the partners who did send stuff, they would come in there and make sure that their stuff was out there. I want you to know it. They wanted to know if their stuff was out there, how was their thing selling and everything. And so that even encouraged them that if we sold out, they'd be like, oh, I'm going to send some more next year. Because not only do they have to wait till they come, they really can send it, whether they come to the convention or not.
Right.
Because we will still sell it.
Right.
It's to benefit them. It's to open doors for them. It's to bless them. The market is a place of blessing to be a blessing. And so we bless our partners by selling their stuff, and we purchase it and show off what we got authentically from our partners that look good. And there are so many churches that still have Mission Sundays. And so, and even like this month, this month, with Black History Month and everything, they wear their garments.
Yes, they do.
They wear, look, they like to showcase. And I know the second year Dr. Murray had it, he even had like a fashion show that everyone that had purchased something from the international market, he had them to walk around the convention center, the floors, to show off their things and stuff. So that is such a blessing to the partners of Lott Carey. And I love the work. I love the smile. I love to see the people coming in and purchases because it's going for a good cause. And there is no middleman.
Correct. There
There
is
is
no
no
middleman.
middleman. The money goes straight to the partners. And so, and it helps them to buy a cow, to get a motorcycle, to do whatever. I can't get past the cow. I'm telling you, I mean, when I heard about a cow and everything, but we have so many different initiatives. The international market not only sells stuff from the partners. We used to have an AIDS. I brought it so you can see.
Yes,
The
I still
I
have my
still,
pen.
yes, I had mine. We had the AIDS initiative
I still have
pen
my
that we sold. That we've even sold some of Wise's pens and
Yes,
some of
that's
their
right.
T-shirts.
Hmm.
I have on my Lott Carey T-shirt. Those are some of the things that we sell in the market. We have sold
Oh, wait,
men's polo shirts.
you have your Lott Carey shirt on?
Yes.
Let's there we go. We see it. We see it. We see it. We see it. That's right. That's one of the tops that I try to wear on the Thursdays in black. I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah. So the Jumping for Justice T-shirts. So we kind of cover a lot of initiatives within the family of Lott Carey, from the men to the women to the children. And then we brand some stuff because a lot of people have come and said, I want to take something back to my mission sister who wasn't able to come. So we would get things that said Lott Carey, so that they could take little gifts back to their mission sisters at home.
We are definitely our own economic engine, right?
Yes.
We're making the thing. We're getting other people who have made things that 1,000 times more than we need the proceeds, that, and we're giving it to them, and it's all to help again this well-oiled machine continue to work.
Yes.
And had it not been, as a number of our brothers will say, had it not been for the women, had had it not been for the, thank you, Reverend Murray, past President Murray, for having the idea.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for putting it in good hands, and now we're making it work.
Yes, it is still working.
And it's still
And
working.
we thank God for that. We
We
do.
are we are very, very grateful for having it work. So now listen, like all of that, we basically were on like one question. You know that, right?
Yeah.
That's all right. We're gonna get to another question because I definitely want to you covered like most of the things we were talking about. So how about we talk about this, which is our 125th year, right, of women serving in the organization. Thank you so much for bringing up Sister Minnie Washington. That's actually a name and a face that I've remembered since my days of youth,
Mm-hmm.
in the convention, and um, the generation of the Sister Minnie Washingtons. And you said, who was the other lady that you mentioned?
I said Lucille Ely.
Sister Lucille Ely, and people like that. Y'all are cut. They are cut from a different cloth.
They are.
They are cut from a different cloth. I was every once in a while. Thank you to Sister Antoinette Winslow, former past president of Lott Carey Women in Service Everywhere, and she will be on the couch next month. She was actually finishing up her tenure, and we'll talk about this more next time during the next month. And it was at that time the Women's Auxiliary, and it was during her
Right.
tenure that we then shifted to Women in Service Everywhere. And when I looked at the book that celebrated the 100th anniversary, the centennial, and I looked at some of the women in the pictures, and I looked at some of their, let's say, their church work, and then their mission work, and how they took the mission work that they did at convention, meeting partners, maybe I don't know how many people went actually did mission field, like go on the mission field across the world, but how they were taking the story of what's happening overseas, or even in some places, let's say in the Caribbean, but of course, like, overseas, and then making that their home, mission focused, the things that they wanted to work on so that they can send the money and not just like go to the convention, but also go and send. We have to do a different work in crafting and culling and nurturing and developing a new set of Minnie Washingtons, a
Yes.
new set of Lady Vans, a new set of Lucille Illies, a new set of Reverend Murrays, and uh, all the people. And as you have been pulled or identified or touched or said, come here, what are you doing to cull and to craft that next layer of women, primarily in Lott Carey?
Well, one of the things is that I try to get them to understand our sole purpose in Lott Carey is to serve and to put aside all titles. Doesn't matter. And I say that because when I started out, I was a first lady, and someone was so surprised to find out that the work I was doing and the labor that it took to do it, that I was a first lady. And so one of the things I've tried to show is that a title doesn't make any difference. You really want to hear servant well done. And the only way you can get that done is that you serve. And
Mm-hmm.
so what I've tried to do is to come along beside me and not just watch me, but help me. To put
Yes.
your hands in it and help formulate so that when you see the end result, it will put a smile on your face. To just tell them sometimes they don't get it, but to bring them alongside and they see the end result and they see their labor. Sometimes I think that touched their heart, and then they was like, you know what? I can do this, and I like this. And if she can do it, then I can do it, because we're so title orientated now that it's like you can't do anything unless you have a title, and you really got to be up there. And they fail to realize that the higher up you are, the more you serve, and it's not just the low. So I try to get people to see that your service is not only what God wants, but it brings fulfillment to you as well as fulfillment to the person that you're serving. So I like to say, come alongside me. Let us get our hands dirty together. We'll get a manicure later, but we got to do this, because these are God's people that need our help right now.
Amen. Amen. I am not going to forget this. Please shout out the assistants who come alongside you.
My right arm, my left
Good
arm,
to
my
go.
everything is Cheryl Austin, Pamela Lyles. They're from Fountain.
Mm-hmm.
Cynthia Bentley.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Cynthia. Mm-hmm.
and believe it or not, I have one man, Dr. Victor Davis.
Come on, Dr. Victor Davis. I'm shouting you out. Oh,
He's
Sister Cheryl
He's
Austin.
Dr. Pastor Victor Davis.
And
And
he's a
uh,
sentinel. He is a sentinel. He sits at that door, or he'll stand at that door, or he'll be walking, just moving through. How you doing? You all right? Can I get something for you? Lady Van, you need something?
but you
Ma'am,
know
I
what?
think she does a great job.
I really thought that we were going to lose customers one time because of Victor. Because somebody tried on something. He was like, baby, don't put that on. Don't wear that. Don't buy that. And I was like, you need to stop. And then he picked something else for it. She was so elated and everything. But he is dutiful
Love it. I love it.
every year to show up and to give his assistance and everything. Deaconess Diane Spagner, Dr.
I spoke
Spags'
to her the other
wife.
day.
Yes,
Sister
she's a
Diane
key.
was shouting you out.
Yes, we she's a key component in it all. And so those are just the regular, I mean, every year come on their own dime, stay up till midnight, past midnight, to help put this together to the glory of God and for the benefit of Lott Carey. These are the behind the scene people whose names are never called, you know, but face is recognized every year, and they be like, hi. you know. But these are the oil, the glue, and everything else that make that mission studies and international market work.
And they
I couldn't do it without them.
we are so surprised when the doors finally do open. And I'm one of the people, because I try to get there a day plus early, and we just where's the market this year? Is it around this corner? And we be looking. Is it open yet? No. Is it open yet? Okay, maybe we come at 6 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock at night. Is it open? Not yet. And then when it opens, okay, what's the good stuff? What's the good stuff? What new clothing? What new items? Any journals? And what's the new shirt?
It's a lot of work. It
Yes.
really is
Literally,
a lot of work.
you're putting up a 4 or 5 day shop, and you're putting it up maybe in a day and a half.
We are.
You have to at least have, if not 40, maybe 40 vendors, or 40 or more. You know what I mean? Like entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Work.
Yes.
Clothing, apparel, bags, accessories,
All
jewelry, books, and
and
I
then
remember
setting up the register and to capture everything, because we have to put everything in certain orders and make sure that everybody have their own code so they can get paid their right money. I got a shout out to Reggie Peterson, Tanja's husband, because he helps set up all the racks and stuff and everything. And see, that's why I say it takes a lot of work, because you got to set up all of those racks, and then you got to hang up all the clothes and put everything on display, and then make it look cute and attractive so y'all will come in there and buy it. And then we have one day to take everything down.
Right.
That's just like mission studies. It used to take us 3 days to get 1,000 people in, and it took us one day to get everybody out. And what I mean by getting everybody out, we had to print up all 1,000 certificates.
I remember
when we used to print up certificates. It took us 3 days to get everybody in, but we only had one day to get everybody out. And so when I'm saying that turnaround is so short, you need committed, devoted, intentional people that love God and love the work, that's going to sacrifice their time to get it done, because we don't have a lot of time and space to do a lot of things, to stretch it out and to enjoy the convention. I don't know when the last time I've been to a musical, because we're getting ready to greet you so you could come in and get your clothing or buy a book. We sell the books for class.
Right.
And all that stuff have to be up and have to be ready.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It is.
We love it though. Please.
Right.
We love it. We are a tight family group, and we love each other. We love the work. And when we get tired together, and we don't stop until it's done.
This is why I wanted to have this conversation, because again, there are many layers to the fine machine that the organization is. And like you said, some people wear a title on their sleeve, and some people live the title through their service.
Yes.
You have been gifted, connected to a title, and you serve, and you serve, and you serve, and you get other people to serve with you. And that literally is what makes Lott Carey, and particularly Lott Carey women in service everywhere. It makes it work very well.
Yes.
So I know that there are people watching. I can't actually tell where they're watching from, but I know there's a couple of people. Maybe it's on YouTube. I'm not really sure, because I'm trying to look in different places. But if you wherever you're watching from. And I think, oh, so Sister Sherdina Jones, thank you, from Central Baptist Church. Reverend Courtney D. Meadows, Pastor-elect, thank you so much. If anyone else wants to just drop in where they're reading, or hearing or watching us from, we would love it. And if there are any questions, we can definitely field a question. This is going to be on replay, and I'm going to replay this in a little bit at our regularly scheduled programming time. But look at this. We've had this amazing conversation. Now, I'm going to ask one final question, and it's not even a bonus question. Because you've had the opportunity to have the people from our mission partners come and see you, do you have like a mission trip that you may have taken or gone on that if somebody is really trying to figure out, should I go? What would that mini story or that, little window into another part of the world, what would that be to get someone to say, I need to go if I can?
I have not taken a mission trip. I really haven't. For several reasons, but I have not taken a mission trip. But I really would, if someone has the desire and God has led them to take it. My thing would be that it had to be God led, God appointed, and for them to get out of it what God wants them to get out of it, and not just go just to be going, but go to fulfill a mission, to go to fulfill an opportunity that of a door that was open that God wants you to go through. And so I would dare say, get all that you can get out of it. Learn the culture, learn the people, watch the people, especially how they praise the Lord. Learn how they live with less and enjoy God more than what we do that have so much more. And have to be pride to lift our hands.
Right.
So that's what I would tell someone to do, to just go and look for what God wants you to see through that door of opportunity, as to, for when you come back, how you can implement within yourself first, and then the opportunity for your church or some other mission-minded people to help in the endeavor to bring forth what you had seen. Because the needs are out there. We don't all the time go out there to see them, to get them, to recognize them, or anything like that. But it's out there, and it's for us to meet.
We are the called.
Yes.
We are the called to serve. We are the called to serve. I will mention one opportunity that you may have participated in. I believe you may have. Prior to 2020, because I think I'm led to believe now that mission work happens in many places. Of course,
it does. It does.
So I remember one year we were in New Orleans, and this was after Hurricane Katrina. And part of the mission blitz was to go out into what we may consider the highways and the byways. Part of that year was, of course, the mission blitz. We were going out. But then it was also that we, up until a few years ago, had some of the community people come and dine with us.
Right.
So a number of people had the opportunity. I'm not sure, if you were setting up the shop or dealing or classroom management work, but it's always extremely precious. I'll use the word precious, to be able to walk out of our convention center, which is air conditioned and it's very plush, and get on the bus and go into, the local communities and sit and dine and, chat and chew with people who we just want to try to brighten their day. going to New Orleans at that time was very interesting because one of the places that we went was under the bridge. And I'm not familiar with the name of what, but a number of people who know about parts of New Orleans, I think you'll remember or know what I'm speaking about.
Yes.
There's a community that lives under the bridge.
Right.
And I remember we were also trying to get some young people to participate in ways that they know that they could. So
Mm-hmm.
some of them were like making sandwiches or, making like little bagged lunches to give. Some of them were bringing socks. Some of them were bringing, like personal hygiene and toiletries and such. And it was very gripping to see how we were doing our best to train our young people, right? I'm into path. I'm into how do we get people in the path so that they know, that they're aware, that they have the exposure. And then when they are able at what such time that they can choose mission however they feel their heart is led. And it was beautiful to see like the younger people. When I say young people in this situation, it was like teenagers because it wasn't the children,
Right.
but the younger people who were like, okay, wow, so this happens here. I live in a city or a state where I may or may not see this type of a thing, but let me do what I can. And
Mm-hmm.
so then there were people who were back at the home front, back at the convention center who were praying. In essence, this whole day of the mission blitz, while we were getting ready, right, to go to start our classes, it was almost as if everybody was on their mission, right? Started out at 6 in the morning to pray, people to prep. Some people were getting on the buses to go to the mission blitz out in the highways and the byways of the local community. There were people who stayed home who maybe their legs were just a little tired or they couldn't do that, but they stayed praying during that time. There were the
Right.
young people making like the food, and everybody was on their mission. There must have been about 20 different iterations of mission for that day. I love that day. Because no matter where you are, no matter what you were doing, you were on a mission
Yes.
to serve the greater organization of
Right.
missions. So whether you got on a plane or you got on the bus or you prayed or you folded some boxes or you packed some food, everybody was on their mission in the way that they could.
That's one thing I love about Lott Carey in comparison to any other convention is that when we go to a city, we make our presence known
Yes. Yes.
by the mission work that we do. And that Monday of Mission Blitz is like you said, it's like they came together on one accord. Everybody is on one accord,
I
like
love
the
it.
early church.
I
Everybody's
love
on one accord, and everybody is doing something
it. Right.
as far as mission is concerned to make the rest of the week better for everybody and to make our presence known
Mm-hmm.
and to get everybody mission minded.
I gotta put that. I gotta put that. I just had to type mission minded in the chat. I love it. I love it. I love it. Absolutely. We're all mission minded. And that is the focus. That is what I wanted to make sure that we had conversations with, again, a wide variety of people who do and are seen, who do and are not seen, who do and are heard, and who just do just because they want to do. That is why we are here for 125 years of celebrating and recognizing and uplifting the women who have served Lott Carey Baptist Farm Mission Convention 125 years. And I thank you, Lady Van.
I thank you for asking me.
I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. So to all who are still with us, we really appreciate you. There are still some folks who are in here. So please do us all a favor and drop your name, your church, shout out your pastor, the city and state. Let us know what you're looking forward to coming to in the next few weeks and few months. Will we see you at the 31 or we'll hear you at the 31 days of prayer every day during March? Will we see you at the monthly prayer call on March 1st so that we have a double hitter on March 1st, right? 6 a.m. for the monthly prayer call and then 6:30 for the 31 days of prayer. I think I'll be doing something during that month. So I got to get my morning voice together. We will always be here the first Thursday of every month for the digital couch. We will see some of you at the spring conference. So
Yes.
make sure, again, it is live. So go on LottCarey.org, LottCarey.org, LottCarey.org. Register for the spring conference, get your hotel, get your registration. So we'll see some of you there. And then you know what's going to happen in May? We have Jump for Justice again.
Yes.
So those people who want to, do a little turn, get yourselves ready, get your energy ready, because we're going to be jumping for justice as well in May. Then what's going to happen? We will see you at the annual session in
In
August.
August.
See you at
Yes.
the annual session in August. So peace and blessings. Thank you so much for joining
Thank
us.
you.
We will see you in a few days, a few
Praise.
weeks, a few months. It depends on where we're going to see you. So I just wanted to, again, let everyone know we love having conversations. We're definitely celebrating all this year, 125 years. So you can see many different people who have done some work here in Lott Carey. We wanted you to meet them. So peace and blessings. We will see you all in a few days or weeks.
God bless you.
God bless you.